What's going on, man? K Red, man. Quarter Red from the low for the ones who don't know. Let me put this game on you real quick, man. Sometimes it's best to go through the shit that you really don't want to go through, only because it's going to make you stronger in the end. Losing that job, you know what I mean? Going to jail, you know what I mean? Some people fuck around and be homeless for a minute, sleeping on somebody's couch, you know, or sleeping in your car. A lot of them times, which we really won't see in that moment, in hindsight, those be the best times that we actually needed to experience just as an individual or as a person. Me personally, I know what it feels like to, you know what I mean, sleep on somebody else's couch, you know, be in a house with somebody who don't really want you there, going from this place to that place. And you know what I mean, in that moment you feel like, damn, like I don't know how I'm gonna get through. I don't know, what's my next move really. But in that moment, that's what your mindset is. And in hindsight, again, that was a moment that you needed to experience, because without those experiences, sometimes we be out here real naive, man, real gullible, thinking life is real, you know what I mean, sweet out here. Like it's just gonna be on easy mode the whole time. Nah, life, you know what I mean, had that automatic switch where nigga, you might be facing the boss level, you know what I mean, at a certain age or at a certain, time of your life. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was a time back in high school, man. um, I went to this school called MST, what was formerly known as Seneca Vocational in Buffalo. And you know what I'm saying? I think it was junior year. I had four exams. I ain't passed none of my exams. I had like four exams that I still had to pay. I don't think it was like four. I think it was like three. I had like three exams. I did pass the earth science. Yeah, I did pass that one. No, it was actually two. Yeah, I passed the earth science and I passed the basic math, because at the end of my school year, I didn't even have a full schedule, meaning like I had two empty classes. And you know what I mean? They took me out of trigonometry. I was taking trigonometry come senior year. You know what I mean? One day somebody called me out the class and like, yeah, you ain't got to do this no more. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, going back to that, I had two exams come junior year, man, and I was just, junior year, I'm doing more partying, hanging out, drinking, smoking, and I'm just, you know what I mean, doing what I want to do. I'm not really focusing on school too much. I mean, I was never really focused on school to begin with. I feel like I was always too smart for that shit anyway. You know what I mean? I was the kid that um I understood school on a different level than everybody else around me. You know what I mean? I didn't have to skip class and be in the hallways and all that. I actually liked being in the classroom, flirting with the bitches and, you know what I mean, beating on the desk, doing all the little shit that we did in high school. But as far as like academic like shit like that, I wasn't on no valedictorian level by any means. But as the loopholes on getting away with X, Y, and Z when it came to school, I was on point with that shit. I knew that homework really didn't count for nothing. See, everybody was doing homework back in school, and a lot of people thought that that's why they failed by not doing homework. No, I knew that homework was only a small percentage that went towards your overall grades and what your, you know what I mean, obviously your ultimately your GPA would be. GPA would be, yeah. But homework really wasn't something that I knew, like, cause it would be times where, you know what I mean, I'm not doing no homework, bro. Why does that even exist? It's homework. I mean, we in school for 8 hours a day. Then y'all gonna send me home with some more school. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm going outside. I'm about to go play basketball. And when I come back in the house, mom, dude's got the food ready, and it's nighttime after that. So I'm not doing the homework. And I'm damn sure not about to get up early trying to rush to do it before school. I'm not doing that shit. But as time went on, I'm starting to realize like, oh, this shit really don't even matter, because I'm present every day and I'm passing my tests and all of that. Like that's the funny part. Me never doing homework, but I'm always passing my tests. Rather it's from a C plus average or an A plus. I'm always passing my test, but I'm not doing the homework. But my grades is, you know what I mean, above average. So what's really going on with this homework stuff? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Getting back on topic. Yeah, man. Sometimes you really gotta go through the bullshit, man, to really get to where you're trying to get to, bro. And I know it's gonna be hard for some people at certain times. Like you're gonna really hit rock bottom, bro. I didn't hit rock bottom several times, bro, but I didn't ran it back up several more. So I got to a point to where I was like, I can't lose. Really, I can't lose. I'm gonna fall off for a minute if it happens to be that for whatever reason. Maybe I made the wrong investment. You know what I mean? Bullshitting with my money. You know, I can't. I'm not gonna blame nobody else. That's what I'm not gonna do. See, that's the only thing that'll really keep you at a certain point to where you know you're gonna bounce back. When you really take that accountability and say, "Damn, I fucked up. Damn, I did that wrong thing. Damn, I went to jail this time and I wasn't supposed to go. Damn, I did that. Damn, I was supposed to go here." And I mean, whatever the case may be, the accountability is what's really gonna make the difference in your situation, bro. I know you don't want to think like it was on you, but it was on you. You know what I mean? It ain't to say that, you know, every time you get into something, it's up for you to handle. Like you can't never go and lean on somebody that you have trust in or you can feel like you can go to. But you know what I mean? The ultimate decision is on you, bro. It don't really matter what help you receive. That's why I say, like, for the people who feel like, you know, receiving help is like a thing that's frowned upon, bro. I done received help from a bunch of people that I don't talk to no more, people that I still, you know, have conversations with, people that I will never speak to again in life. But at the end of the day, bro, I put the work in. The help is just like a booster what I'm trying to get. That's just that, you know what I mean? When you want 2K, you know what I mean, them boosters, I mean, that's you still gotta work the controllers. The booster ain't gonna do shit if you got the controller just sitting on the table. You still got to put the work in, bro. So anything that you have or don't have right now is because you didn't work for it. Simple and plain, bro. And I'm in situations right now to where I'm always speaking to myself when I make these videos because this is really a way that I feel like is a kind of a stress reliever to me because I will sit here and kind of do shit like this all day, just talking to myself. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And just, you know what I'm saying, chill or you know what I mean? Put some game on the TV and just get my mind right. But at the end of the day, I always been accountable for my shit. Any rough patches or hardships in my life, I ain't never let that define me because I always knew, like, all right, I did that. All right, that was my fault. You know what I mean? Failed relationships, lost jobs. You know what I mean? Uh, Lost materialistic items, lost whatever. I always knew I was gonna get it back because I knew me. I believed in me. Like my last previous video, man, believe in yourself. As long as you believe in yourself, you're not going to lose. That's the key to life, bro. That's the cheat code right there. I just gave you the cheat code right there. You're going to come back to this video in a few years. You're going to be like, damn, the only thing I did wrong in them situations was something in the form of not believing in myself. Rather, I hesitated and I missed out on an opportunity, or I made the wrong decision, or I put B on the test instead of putting A on the test, is because you didn't believe in yourself the first time when you went into it. So it was ultimately, predestined to fail anyway. Believe in yourself, man. K Ray from the low, I'm out.